soccer, there's a lot of people playing. In cricket, a lot of people playing. And as you move up to games like squash, tennis, badminton, the pyramid gets smaller. So when you put a racket in a kid's hand, what you're doing is you're putting him at the top of the pyramid.
My name is Satinder Bajwa. I was born in India, Simla. My parents moved to England in 1967. I was about 10 years old. But I've been in London for 50 odd years. So I grew up in London. For the first year or two, I was really basically a silent individual who would go to school, keep very quiet because I couldn't understand English, couldn't speak English. So best thing to do was just to observe and say very little, yes, no, yes, my name is this, and so on. Suddenly I kind of look back now, 50 years ago, 55 years ago, and I realized, that how sport was such a leveler. And as soon as all the people around me realized that I was good at sport, it didn't matter whether I could speak English or not. It was a language of its own. It was a leveler. And I think perhaps that is silently was another inspiration that ended up me, starting Khelshala all these years later. The idea initially was to provide sport and get kids off the street after school. People came, kids joined, and left very quickly because they thought that it was going to be an overnight thing. They were going to get something overnight. And we started with 35 kids. At one point, we ended up going down to 12. Somehow things started improving again. Today, we have close to 80 kids. We've achieved a lot. We've got good scholars like Priya, who just got Young India Fellowship with Harvard University. We've got graduates, we've got people getting into the army and getting scholarships at colleges due to their sporting and education empowerment.
Khelshala is based on the SAY program, S-A-Y. SAY, S stands for the sport. A sport, especially we are giving the squash. At the Itawa, one more Khelshala site we do have got, that is at the Mazra, and there we are giving lawn tennis. We have got the 3 courts. Sports, why so sports? Because from the sports, the kids make themselves well disciplined, sharing attitudes. There are so many things. There are so many good qualities to be a good gentleman we can learn from the sports. Confidence and so on. Obviously, academics. It is a very important part of the life. When you are learned, when you are educated, then only you can be a sport person. Otherwise, aimlessly you can hit the ball on the wall. Then you have to be the last, not the least, is yoga well-being. Kids have to be strong. Kids has to be very well hygienic. That is, we give it from the yoga.
So Khelshala is a place of play, like Shala is a school or a place and Khel is play. And what we are doing is we are kind of using the sport launch pad, to build these kids' self-esteem, to build their focus, their individuality, their responsibility aspects of it, their character.
My name is Priya, I'm 20 years old. I love to come to Khelshala because I got lots of opportunity from here. I come to Khelshala when it was opened in 2009. I got the opportunity from Khelshala to be a part of one of the prestigious university, Ashoka.
Khelshala ने सर मुझे बहुत कुछ दिया है और मैं 2016 में पंजाब स्टेट स्कूल टूर्नामेंट खेला जिसमें मेरी पंजाब में 3rd पोजीशन आई है। Khelshala हमें बहुत सारी फैसिलिटी देती है, जैसे कहीं पे बाहर खेलने के लिए ले जाते हैं, जितना भी खर्चा होता है वो सारा Khelshala उठाती है हमारा। और इस साल तो मुझे Khelshala की तरफ से डोनेशन भी मिला है, जिससे मुझे आगे पढ़ाई करने में या कुछ और कोर्स वगैरह करने में फैसिलिटी मिलती है।
Khelshala is supposed to help every kid, whether he's a talented athlete or a great student. When they come together on a sporting platform, then everything disappears. Religion, where you're from.
हम 3 भाई हैं, तो उन 3 भाइयों में मैं सबसे छोटा हूँ। और मेरे मम्मी मेड है और मेरे पापा रिक्शा पुलर है और मेरा सबसे बड़ा भाई वो सेल्समैन का काम करता है दिल्ली में। और एक जो मिडिल वाला है वो टाटा बिजनेस सर्विस सपोर्ट में काम करता है। खेलशाला की मदद से मुझे बहुत सारे टूर्नामेंट खेलने का मौका मिला, जैसे सब जूनियर नेशनल स्क्वाश, दिल्ली स्क्वाश चैम्पियनशिप, महाराष्ट्र स्क्वाश चैम्पियनशिप, नेशनल स्पोर्ट्स क्लब ऑफ स्क्वाश चैम्पियनशिप।
सोनू मेरा बेटा है, खेलशाला में जाता, मुझे बहुत खुशी है। वहाँ जाता है तो दिमाग थोड़े अच्छा आया है, और किसी से ज़्यादा बोलना चालना कोई नहीं है, बहुत अच्छा वहाँ जाता, मुझे खुशी है।
We feel Khelshala as a temple, whether as a gurdwara or as a church or a mosque, whatsoever. If we go to the gurdwara, we do the seva. Then why not at the Khelshala?
4 से 5 हमारी स्टडी होती है, और उसके 1 घंटा बाद हम लोग टेनिस खेलते हैं। उसके बाद जो 1 घंटा होता है वो उसके बाद उसमें हम लोग ग्राउंड वगैरह की सफाई करते हैं, क्लासरूम की सफाई करते हैं।
So when someone starts something like this, you sort of think you're doing good, and you think you're doing good for this sector of community, but you end up realizing that actually when you do something good, good things happen with it, and the greater good happens.
खेलशाला जाने की वजह से हम में और दूसरे बच्चों में बहुत फ़र्क आ रहा है। हम लोगों को पता है कि समय किस तरह से बचाना है और किस टाइम कौन सा काम करना है। दूसरे बच्चे तो सारा समय बेकार वेस्ट ही करते हैं।
खेलशाला स्टार्ट होने से पहले कुछ मेरे भी दोस्त ऐसे हैं कि मतलब गलत संगत में हैं, तो खेलशाला आने के बाद ये तो है कि मैं इन सब चीज़ों से दूर हूँ।
People say America is a melting pot. Well, I have to say India is a bigger melting pot than any country. You get up in the morning, you hear the mosque call out for the prayers, you hear the Gurudwara, you hear the temple mandir, ringing its bells. You don't get that in anywhere except in India. And bringing these communities together would be by replicating Khelshala and spreading the word out and getting people into sport would be a great vision to fulfill.
खेलशाला में ना जब भी मैं छोटे बच्चों से बात करता हूँ तो वो ऐसा लगता है कि वो मेरे छोटे बहन भाई हैं, क्योंकि घर में मैं ही सबसे छोटा हूँ।
खेलशाला इज़ लाइक अ फादर फॉर मी। उन्होंने पहले मुझे पाला, फिर उसके बाद बड़ा किया, अब मुझे अपने पैरों पे खड़ा कर दिया है।
For last 9 years, I have forgotten to go to the theatre, to the mall, my theatre, each and everything. I love to spend my time here at the Khelshala.
Khelshala should continue to provide the service that we have provided in the last 9 years. We're serving 100 kids. We want to be able to have 300 to 500 children here, build a great family. We want to have better staff. We want to have better facility. We want to help more children. We want to replicate Khelshala in different places. Sport is a major part which shapes a society. We need to bring the sporting aspect into our culture. And it doesn't matter where you're from. All that matters is that he hits a squash ball and you hit a squash ball, or somebody hits a tennis ball over the net, you hit it back.